when it comes to business, especially the service industry, the stories we could tell. But today, we're going to dive deep into the minds and the recesses of those who make life a little bit harder for everybody. How do you balance being polite and being right? Where do you draw the line? Today, we find out how hard it is to serve people who shouldn't be served. Welcome back to the Tabletop Podcast. Why, welcome back to the Tabletop Podcast. We got a brand new episode
with a dream guest, guys.
with a dream guest.
And the side dish. Main dish didn't come.
Bro, if you're the side dish, the main dish gonna kill us all. Oh my god. Guys, we got a very lovely guest today.
That's right. Kicking off the December season. It's not kicking off, we're already in the December season. But the reason why we have Hong here today, I just kind of introduced him, but introduce yourself, man. Come on, give us a taster. Who you, what you do.
Yeah, my name is Ahong, and I'm the owner and cook for the restaurant Grub by Ahong.
Come on, it's one of my favorite restaurants. If you guys have ever been there, the food there is just
sublime.
I've ordered it so many times over the MCO period because I just want to go back. And then every time the food comes, it's slightly cold because it's like 40 minutes.
It cannot compare.
It cannot compare. So you need to go there and eat and experience it.
Yeah.
I need to feel Hong lingering behind me with a glass of wine in his hands.
Yeah, he does that.
That's the real salt to the presence.
Yeah.
Hong, why don't you tell everyone who you, what you do a bit more? Yeah.
Okay. So I run the Grub restaurant, and even though we didn't start out as a steakhouse, we kind of ended up being a steakhouse nowadays.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
You didn't start out as a steakhouse?
No, man. Like when I first started the restaurant, we only had one steak in the menu out of 20 items.
Well, what do you think it was going to be then, Mama?
Actually, you're talking to a guy who used to have the concept of masale chafan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wait. So you had one steak in the menu,
Yeah.
and then the rest is like what?
So the rest was like roast chicken, lamb, and seafood and everything. So it was almost like a blue collar Western food lah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How did you become like the emperor of steaks then? Like what happened?
I don't know, man. Like I think because the idea was blue collar Western food. So somehow everyone took the opportunity as cheap steak. Good steak. Yeah. Because my motto at the time was like, don't put Western food on a pedestal. Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Truly the Asian presence is strong. Wow. Actually, that's true. I remember like the people were talking about like the dude this place with damn good steak.
Yeah.
Next level. And this guy don't care about you. You go take your own drinks. That's how you
I
raise
love
the cost.
it. Yeah, it's so raw. But I love the not putting Western food on a pedestal. I think that's a genius concept because you're right. Sometimes you get really shit food for really crazy prices as well. Just because it's like, it's Western food, right?
Yeah, that's the
Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Love that concept, man. Wow, shucks.
But with things opening up again, I can't even begin to try to understand what the last 2 years have been like for the food industry. For you, because you really like your restaurant, the food that you do is something that really needs to be enjoyed in the restaurant itself, right?
Yeah.
How, without going too much into all of that, like now with things opening up, has it become better? We were recently talking about the new price hikes for a lot of raw materials as well. How are you feeling about that, man?
Oh, I think the challenges are definitely more serious this time because the COVID has really caused a lot of difficulties. Like your workforce is gone, then your supplies are getting more expensive. But then again, also, a lot of F&B who survived this long, I think is nothing new to them. Like, it's just that you gotta every time you're back into a corner, you just have to come out. You just have to pull that rabbit out of the hat.
And that's your new dish, right? Rabbit out of the hat. It's actual rabbit because cannot afford cow anymore.
Because
That's correct, dude.
But it's true. I think like anyone who managed to survive all the different waves until now, right? It's kind of like, I guess this is happening again.
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do. How was it for you, like personally, like going through all the random lockdowns?
Oh yeah, the random lockdowns were the hardest. So I had to make big decisions in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like, this week, starting next week, you can't open your restaurant, so no dine-ins.
Yeah.
So
And it's like very sudden one, right?
Yeah, it's just straight away. I had to go down to the go back to the drawing board and decide what dish we should maintain, what dish can we sell. Actually, I wasn't even sure if steaks are deliverable, right? So I didn't even know if my customers want to spend that, because I mean, people tapao food like 10, 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit. I don't mind, right? The food comes cold, I'm okay. I'm asking my customers to pay me 90, 80, 100, $200
to send
for
a cold
delivery.
steak.
Yeah, to send you.
Yeah.
So we try our best, and then working with the platforms, and then
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of loss leader move lah. So I decided let's try it out, but I charge my customers maybe with no profit. So it's just to break even, just to test whether the customers are happy to have their steaks delivered to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Truly.
Just the bane of the business world, man.
Yeah, man.
Bangsai, 真的 another bane.
Really loud side.
Oh, dang.
I saw this meme going around saying that Malaysia now we're gonna have like the second tallest building in Asia or something, but then we are still in like poverty. Yeah, like what's the point? I don't understand.
Second tallest building in the world, lowest median income ever.
Oh, just get out, man.
I cannot lah. But hey, we are starting in the right mood already. Complaining.
Complaining.
This is where we want to be, because this episode we're talking about how people can be absolute pains in the butt. Hands up at the table.
Oh boy.
Hands up at the table here, including Jeremy over there. Do you have a camera on you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a camera. Hands up if you have been in the F&B or service industry.
Oh, you guys also have been.
What are you doing, Jeremy?
Doesn't count. You help your mother cook the egg.
No. I used to work at. We can maybe bleep this about fishbowl. I used to work there.
Fishbowl.
Wow.
Oh.
How
like-
old were you?
Damn random.
When they first opened, like 18 or 17, very young.
Wow.
I worked there as like a part-time gig because like I have a lot of free time. So I was like, make some money. So just go in, apply, and then
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all.
So I decided I mean, it was nearby, and I was like, it's like the food looks good. That back then it was a big hype for it.
Yeah, it was. It was a
And I
new
was
trend.
like, oh, why not just try it? And then I went and worked there for like 2-3 months. It was quite an experience. You learn a lot actually.
You learn a lot.
The F&B
You
business.
learn a lot. Minglan, where were you, Mia?
I mean, come on. Big old M, big old
Big
C,
ol'
big
M.
old D.
It's actually very interesting that you work there.
Yeah.
No, cause I think it was a time where, like you lah, Hari Raya holidays, there was no exams that year. And my friend was like, hey Ming, we found a really good deal. The part-timing during Hari Raya, the pay is like 6 times 3 per hour or something like that,
Wow.
And like so many guys were trying to get it. They had to cap your number of hours you can work or something like that at that time, I remember. So I'm like, I didn't care. I just signed up, and apparently you can't work just for Hari Raya. You have to work for like a whole month or something. It was the first job, right? I remember like working they called it the floor, right? So when you work the floor, it's like the guys who serve and clean up, right? The first 2 days I went, right, I came back home. The minute I sat down at home, my legs were just on fire and needles. Because McD's, they don't allow you to you can't sit and slack one. Like if you're working the floor, you work the floor. You only stop for like 10 minutes to eat your lunch or something like that, right? But yeah, the people in McD's, like when I was working in high school, you guys sound really weird. You think you won't get weird because it's a happy place, right? You think you don't get weird customers, I tell you, some of them is really like you want to throw the tray, I do not represent McD's, by the way. Okay, this was my experience back like when I was part-timing, but that was my experience, like manning the floor. And then last time in Wanatama, there's a kiosk outside the cinema. I worked my way up the ladder. They left me alone in the kiosk.
That's
the
next
whole
level.
day.
Wow. That's next level.
And
This was before the new wing even appeared.
This was before the new wing was even there.
I think I got like my biggest accomplishment was when the manager gave me the point of sale system like password to do the reporting. I was like, wow, I did it.
One Chinese guy with spectacles at the back there.
I was working at Pasar Zanma in Wanatama. And then I got called in for red alert emergencies at Sushi Zanmai when there were so many people on weekends.
Wow.
And I became the drinks master. So they would leave me in the drinks kitchen and I'll make everything. Because other people will be slow.
Maybe just tell me he and his friend getting high on wasabi at the
Yeah,
time.
bro. We were sniffing the wasabi. The real kick, man. But what about you? Have you ever been in the food industry? Okay, before you set up, right? Like, what was
actually,
what's the
I
story?
think my journey in F&B is more on the hard side. You can see the difference here. The three of you are damn good looking, right? So you guys,
Bro, you ever see me in high school?
but you want to talk ugly? Look at this.
But
it's true. I mean, jokes aside, this is damn true.
Yeah.
I mean, one the earliest F&B mentors that I had, he's like, "Yo, you look like a monster, bro. Go back into your kitchen. Go. You can only do the kitchen job." Sorry to say. I mean, not in a bad way, but it is the truth, right? The customers don't want to see a fat dude who's sweating and pressing or serving food and all that. So that's true.
Okay.
But then I remember my first job was in Burger King as well. And,
lounge.
Yeah. Even though at that time I didn't know what was I doing. It was just a part-time job while I studied architecture, right? I learned quite a lot of things without realizing it. I mean,
Sorry, can we just quickly side note? This bitch is an architect by profession.
You actually finished architecture, right?
Yeah. So
And you were working for a while as an architect, right?
Yeah, I worked for a while in London. Then I came back and worked for a while in KL. So.
Can you hear that again? Like, he said, I work in London.
He was an architect in London
Yeah.
before he came back to Malaysia and decided that he's gonna go back to the kitchen. Dude, if that doesn't give you like a sense of how much pride there is in making food for people in the F&B industry, right? Just shut your mouth, lah. All right, just shut your damn mouth. But okay, back to you. What made you like? How crazy are you? You give up that to go back to the kitchen, and you had like a bad time at Burger King part timing, is it?
Actually, I think it was just naive, man. Like in retrospect, I mean, back then it was more like an optimistic thing where I think like, okay, I can do better in F&B. But when I think back, it's more like I couldn't take the working life of an architect in Malaysia because like you have all these very, very powerful creative urges and you want to create, you want to be creative and all that. But then unfortunately in KL most of the time you're just mass producing condos unfortunately that's the case. Have a look around and you realize it.
Copy paste.
Just
sell. Outside bit look different.
Yeah, put down payment, then the unit is yours. Speculate.
Correct.
So it's a very dull process which I couldn't take. But having said that, I mean, now that I'm older, if I stayed on, I would have done well as well, I think. But anyway, yeah. So then my journey in F&B is a bit different because I've always been in the back of house. So that's where the engine is. So I had days where I had to clean the grill and I climb up the roof to clean the extractor and all that with the grease all over myself. At that time, I think it was also because there was a movement in the UK and in US in general, where the Gen X and Gen Y started leaving their day jobs to become chef. You know, the tattoos and all that. Everyone was cool.
The hipster cafe face.
Yeah, the hipster cafe face. So I thought I'd be one of those.
Shit. Oh, now you say extractor fan. I remember I was always the guy they purposely make to take the trash to the One Utama rubbish bins.
Wow, that was
Wow, that's rough.
You ever saw the mountains in the Matrix? The city of the robots.
that was it.
That's what the
a good
rubbish bin.
analogy.
That's what the rubbish bin area in Monotama looks like. I thought it was cats around me, guys.
The water on the floor is not water. I just want to say, I've been there a couple of times, but I always managed to sneak it past to the stupid new part timer that came in.
Oh my god,
Wow, it's rough, dude.
Memories, guys.
It's rough times.
Okay. Wow, let's architect. I tell you, it's true. I dropped architecture in my first freaking term. Okay, I couldn't take it.
You did the architecture.
But man, a lot of my friends who finished architecture ended up didn't become architect at all. They all started their own cafes. They become barista, all this kind of thing.
It's one of the jobs where it's very
painful, stressful.
Yeah, it's very painful because you see yourself as a creative, but being put in a box. You put in a cubicle to do repetitive tasks.
It's definitely, especially because you're so much like creative ideas and creativity you need to do and what to do.
Yeah.
But it's the same. So even in the food industry, so sometimes you are
True
bound
that.
by a lot of limitations that whether it's money, it's people, shareholders, different things that cause you not be able to fly.
Yeah.
I think the question that we wanted to ask as well, like for ourselves, like that was such a journey from like architecture, like that you gave it up and you're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to go into the kitchen and try to make this work. Mingan, Jeremy, myself, like, have we had dreams to go into the food industry?
We talked about some
we
really,
talked about-
but I'm not going to disclose the ideas here.
because I feel it's still viable.
Yeah, I think
It's
we
still
could still do it
viable.
one day.
Like me and I have wanted to go into the F&B industry for like the longest time, but because our family's roots are actually a lot of it based on like food.
Oh,
and
food
management. So
also.
my grandmother on my dad's side used to sell sugarcane at Lucky Garden. Like Entelawi.
Lucky Garden.
So my dad's side is Jalan Imbi family one.
Oh,
All the
okay.
earliest hawkers in
Yeah.
KL streets and everything.
Okay.
It's all his uncles, relatives,
Yeah.
my uncle.
So my dad grew up just kind of like, grinding sugarcane and stuff. My mom also in Taiping did the same. And then our auntie or my dad's cousin they are the one who mass produces kueh.
Nyonya Kueh.
Minyak kueh.
Oh yeah, you
for
mentioned
everybody.
before.
Yeah, Nyonya colors and everything.
And we didn't realize that she
that's
became
good
so
money,
big
man.
over the years
That's
because
good
like
money, yeah.
she literally started alone in her kitchen.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I remember when I was watching cartoons in my
Then Chef Wan just walks in.
Chef Wan would just walk past and go into the kitchen and talk to
Yeah.
my auntie one.
Oh.
And I didn't know at that time, but it was quite interesting. And today, it's like, oh, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I asked Hima, hey, your can I have some pineapple? I no time. And I never understood why she got no time. Then one day, hey, we
Oh, she got
got three
factories, eh?
factories already.
They got factories there, bro.
I don't hand make my kueh anymore. I'm like, then how?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's whack, dude.
I
It's
really
whack.
just want to learn her pineapple tarts, but it's also a trade secret because the pineapple tarts, I swear guys, I'm so sorry to everyone
It's
out
the
there.
best pineapple tarts
It's the
ever.
best pineapple tarts in Malaysia. But it's a rare commodity because apparently it's the hardest and the worst thing to make in kueh.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in the food industry, I think in Malaysia, we pride ourselves with food.
Yeah.
I would say that it's the hardest industry to be in lah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because
So.
of the competition.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because like I feel like there's so many stories of like right now we're all reading about the cost of even the products that you're selling, right? So that's one part of it. You don't even talk about the long hours. You don't even talk about, and today I think that's what we'll talk about, the shit ass customers that you get.
just gotta smile.
You just gotta smile through
Yeah,
it.
bro.
It's so freaking difficult.
And I love the fact that Ahong is here because if you've been to Grab by Ahong, you know that it's run in a different way.
Yeah.
Right? You come for the good food.
You can get scolded by him.
I
if
promise you the good
if
food.
you mess up, man.
Yeah, I promise you the good food, but I'm not gonna promise you anything else. You know?
That's the whole. That's the whole
Some
idea.
people in
Yeah.
the US, right, they pay to get insulted at different restaurants. There's certain restaurants that they diss you when you walk in. They want to be
They
treated
want to
bad.
be this.
Over here, like how can give you that if you give him the finger?
FOC some more.
Yeah. But we wanted to give like maybe like that duality because Rennie and Burger Lab. They are very they're very community based. There's a lot of smiles and good times and hugs, right?
But early stages very hard also.
Yeah. You were also with Burger Lab for a bit,
I
right?
worked for Burger Lab for about 6 months or so during the early days. Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was also that time it was. Wow.
I remember that. It was the
build, the
Sipak,
expansion phase, man. That
the
was.
Sipak kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So I remember those times the queue were 2 hours,
Bro.
and then once you get to the counter, you order, and it's another hour waiting.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
wait, oh.
Yeah, and people wait, and one of the hardest thing to explain to them is because they were very young. So there was some uncle whose kids wanted the burger, so they drove all the way from Ipoh, queue 2 hours, and then
wow,
and then the
that's-
uncle when he was at the counter, he's like, "What?" At that time, right, it's unheard of. One burger for 15 ringgit.
Yeah, it's
20. So the
Yeah.
uncle was like, "I cannot believe this. I drove all the way here. What kind of madness is this?" Yeah. We have to explain. Yeah.
Maybe he kind of wanted
Sorry,
really
sorry,
know you. He's like, hey, you cannot say that.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like, a lot of customers, I think, I think the expectation is like they I mean, just in general, not just food, right? You buy into the hype first before you
Yeah.
actually buy the product.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then when you arrive, the product is not what you thought it was.
yeah.
So, I would say the mentality is like, wow, I already drove 2 hours. Now I got to pay so much to wait even longer.
Exactly.
But hey, then you eat the burger and you understand, right?
Exactly.
You eat the burger and you understand. But I think customers in Malaysia in particular, right? I won't say Malaysia lah. I think everywhere else. I honestly think our country is actually quite chill already lah, right? But you are not like, oh, find the hair in our food, I send it back, you know. How dare you? I'm gonna sue this
my
place.
dad did that once. There was a cockroach egg in like my food.
Okay lah. Depend what you find in your food
But
lah.
then like I even if I were to see one, I wouldn't say anything.
I find caterpillar moving in my food. I still eat the vegetable.
Same, I also.
Like I will feel very paiseh to voice out.
I think it's because we've been in the.
Yeah. I
don't know, man.
I know what goes in the food, guys. Like, the caterpillar is not the worst thing that can be in your
my
food.
concerns, to be honest.
Someone told me if you find caterpillar in your veggies, it's a good
It's
sign.
a good
'cause there's
sign.
no pesticide.
Means the pesticide is not powerful, you know, right?
The pesticide.
I take the caterpillars like, wow, this uncle choose good vegetable for me, you know.
It's protein.
But yeah, I think what happens when the customers that don't agree, it's like is the kind of customers that make you think like, hey, no one forced you to eat here, you know.
Correct.
Exactly.
Like why are you giving us such a hard time, you know? Because I'll start my story first, then I can set the floor. It was a rare day that I was called from the floor into the counters to help, because sometimes there's an overflow of customers for lunch, the rush hours of F&B, right? And when it's rush hours, people don't just get hungry. People get hungry and cranky.
Oh, the hangries,
the hangries,
Especially if like you're ordering for a lot of people. I remember there was this guy, because I think in when you're working at McDonald's, there's an order sheet and there's a digital order sheet. So there's no way you'll get something wrong if it goes out.
Yep.
This guy orders something, and obviously we make it for him, and he goes. Then he comes back with the same thing. I said, I didn't order any of this. I want the curly fries, large one, which is like a more expensive version of the fries. And I'm like,
You think I would have keyed that in?
I know you didn't order curly fries. Then I said, no, this is not my order. Where's the curly fries? Then we asked like, where's your receipt? My receipt is gone, but this is not my fries. I'm like, okay, we change it for you. Took it back. He took it back, came back again. Eat half already. This is not my order actually. I want this other order. And I'm just like,
What the bird?
you know, it's the point that even the manager will come out, but then they were still like, okay, what do you want, sir?
Yeah.
You know, what do you want, sir? Then they'll just change, and he left. And everybody, I'll always remember, he's a bald Chinese dude. He wears spectacles one. Everybody remember him that day, because it's just like, hey, we all know what you ordered. Why are you making such a big deal?
Yeah.
And then if you don't give, they will make a scene in front and then blame your shop for this kind of thing. I feel that was like the highlight of the horrible customers of serving in the F&B business.
And then now it's so different already, because now, right, even if it's not true, right, there's social media.
Yeah.
And if they write a long enough post, right?
Yeah, that one really puts it into
Bro, it's hard, man.
Yeah, that one really takes it to the next level, because I think a lot of F&B operators that I meet, especially during the time where social media just started, right? Everyone is literally living in fear of
The
if
reviews,
someone viral, if you make a small mistake and it went viral, because that can literally destroy your business. I'm not even joking.
bad,
There's
dude.
so many cases where they had an argument with the customer, and then you just can't win in social media.
I personally, I always take the side of. It's weird. Whenever I read these things, I will try and always take the side of the F&B, because I guess because like I've seen customers come in, and I know you want to get your order right. I know you want to enjoy a good time, but there are actually a lot of customers who come in wanting to get more than what they're paying for. So they're trying to take advantage of the situation, right? Whether it's maybe a waiter who is not as well spoken, or is maybe a bit timid, right? And then they scold the waiter and make the waiter give them more stuff, right? I hate stuff like that, because I've seen it happen like firsthand. They try to pull that shit on me, and I was smiling, and I wasn't smiling anymore, and then they got scared, So it's stuff like that where I always feel like there needs to be like a bit of the customer is not always right. Like, that's my statement today. And I feel like you got the story for that one. Okay, so give us, right now when I ask you top of mind, and it comes to your mind immediately, what is the weirdest or worst customer experience that you've had? The one that's in your mind right now.
I think one of the weirdest one was...
It doesn't even have to be in Grab, like it can be anything,
Yeah, I mean, the one of the weirdest one I ever had was the customer's wife actually came down and had to give me a cooking lesson on how to cook steak and how to prepare the sauce according to her husband's preference.
Is the husband like a big dato?
I don't know about that. I mean, he does act like it, but I can cater for egos and all that. I mean, that's fine. But then the fact that they had the idea that is I don't know whether it's acceptable. I don't know how
What
they
is
got the
bespoke
idea.
steak?
Yeah, so the wife came down and it's like, okay, normally when I cook steak for my husband, I serve it with a black pepper sauce. So these are the ingredients. Then this how I cook it, and then and then you next time my husband come here, please get that. Please put that on the menu. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. And,
What the?
yeah.
What the shit?
Yeah. So I mean, it's actually.
What? So I'm still
I'm still trying to wrap my head
I'm
around
still
what
trying to
I
wrap my
had.
head around it.
Yeah.
It's like-
exactly.
So I know.
Then why are you-
What happened? Then after that, you're like,
So at first I thought it was just a normal Karen, right? So we'll be talking about Karens today. So
Yeah.
the
Correct.
husband came down. He said, I refuse to pay for your steak because I think it's no good, and it's just tasteless, bland. The sauce is not right. Basically everything was wrong about the steak lah. Then I said, never mind, sir. We just give the steak to you, FOC. Thanks for everything, and I appreciate your feedback. Then I'm like, okay,
Wow,
I'm done
you're
with
so
it.
sweet, are you?
oh, yo.
I think at that time I'm more mature already, but even then
It's
I
like
didn't
you smack
expect to
him.
get the
Alright.
yeah the wife.
So after that, you say
yeah.
FOC. You didn't. After that, what happened?
And so the husband actually left, and then the wife came back, returned back to
say
speak
that.
to me, and then she's like, okay, let me teach you how to do steak for my husband specifically. I was thinking like if she wants to tell me how to cook steak in general, I will still accept, but this is more like she's saying that
For her husband
for my
specifically.
husband he likes it that way.
Are you serious?
I wanted the best. One of the best.
And how were you like when she was telling you this?
I just stood there in disbelief.
Yeah.
I think
As you would.
yeah. I'm like, should I Ramsey this one? Might as well get something out of it, but I'm like, okay, like, she's a bit old already, and I'm pretty sure.
How old were they?
Oh, they were, I think, in the 50s to 60s already. Lah.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
not old lah. That's just stupid.
I would
lah.
forgive like 70 to 80s.
Yeah,
lah, you know,
yeah.
like- but what's the logic? Like, if you like that, then you eat at home lah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there are. I think the worst Karens that I've met is, I think a lot of times people associate entitlement with younger people. But a lot of times it's also the ones with people who think they have titles. So it's like they are thinking more like, you know, it's a privilege that I come to your restaurant.
Yeah,
So,
you're trying to tell
yeah.
a guy that knows steak to a point like he can breed your cow
I
for
really
you.
like that. I really like that.
And you want him to and you're
Yes.
telling like he don't know how to
Yeah.
cook.
Okay, wait, did he come back again?
Never.
Thank God lah.
Never.
Okay. Thankfully
Thank God
lah.
for that. I wouldn't want that.
You know like how some shops, right? Like you go to 7-Eleven and stuff like that, then there's like a few pictures on the wall. Please take care of this one, you know. This customer
This
actually stole some of the
customer
things. You should do a blacklist wall there
The
or
hall of
something.
shame, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's crack, bro. I mean, like, wow.
So you just smile and like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, I think she got lucky, like, because literally right then, during that time, I've already learned how to bite the bullet and take it like a man already, take it on the chin.
Before that, what would you do?
Before that, I would have I would have just Ramseyed all these
Get out of my
crazy
shop if you don't
customers.
like,
Yeah. There are a lot of times where customers got drunk and then they started they just want to start a fight. I mean, just for the sake of it. Yeah, and those were the days where I had to
You go join
kick
or not?
customers out and all
You go
that.
join them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go join them and
Oh, I mean,
The tomahawk bone quite big, you know.
that shit, bro.
a few. Yeah.
What's the worst thing that has happened like in the non-mature days?
Oh, I think the worst one is there's a few customers who I think they were not happy with the alcohol selection.
Okay.
So they brought their own alcohol.
Yeah.
So they didn't want just beer, they want all this liquor and everything. So I said, okay, you can have your liquor. And then the guy got really, really pissed drunk. He was at the stage where he was slurring already, and then the wife was literally had to hold him down on his seat so that he doesn't come and fight with me.
What?
And the best part is, you know, is nothing to do with the food. It's more to do with him hearing stories about me before he came. So so at that time my reputation already precedes me. Right? So they will hear things like, oh, there's this new guy and the new player in the field, and he's a bit lancy. His restaurant is where we don't give service. And then that's the most picked on thing about my restaurant. Actually. It's not about the food. It's like the concept that you said. Yeah, we don't have table service. So you come and you have to take your own drinks and your own cutleries and things. And some customers take that as offense somehow.
Then why they come to the shop somehow?
Exactly my point. That's the part which I don't understand. I think at that point in time, they just want to come and see for themselves and then pick a fight with me.
Because maybe nowadays it's a bit more I would say normalized, right? Because it's a no frills dining.
Right? Nowadays it's more normalized, like you said, normalized already, because I think there are few restaurants like this popping up here and there already.
Like it's not like you surprise them that I'm not going to service you. You at the start say, right, that put I don't know, you want to take the drinks, this is the drinks, you take yourself, and that's
you're
how
not
you balance
charging
the
them
cost.
for like service fee for no service,
I think people took it personally because they think we are doing well and we are becoming lancy, so we don't give service. Whereas my whole point of doing that is to say, steaks are not just for rich people in suits with tablecloth and people have to come and serve you. My point is, there are bricklayers, there are students, there are
who want to eat steak also.
Tube station workers who actually eat steak in this kind of setup, right? Just chill. It's just a piece of meat, for Fridays and Saturdays, But people took it as an offense. People took it as I try to make a point to offend rich people. So especially those with a little bit of pangkat. Then they come, they see like, hey, how come this chef doesn't come and talk to me or
so
serve
the
me?
Real Karens that you actually had to mess with were the big time Karens right? Because you need to you're breaking that wall of a high class dining into making it common for everyone. Wow.
And also like famous bloggers and all that. At that time, this one touchy to share. Touchy.
Like they come and review and everything, then they're not happy with service also.
I mean that one is actually 100% not my fault. This is one of the stories that I like to tell. So at that time there was really one damn popular food blogger. I mean she stays Okay. So apparently they tried the food like a few times really. So two to three times, I can't remember lah. And then they say it was consistently mediocre or underwhelming, which I didn't take offense because at that time we were really understaffed and I was desperately trying to QC it so that it's more consistent. So I just made an Instagram post showing the score that I got, which was like a 6 out of 10 or something. So I put it on my Instagram as a reminder to myself and my team. I said we should be doing better than this, right? And then somehow I don't know whether she has a team or she saw it herself. Then they said you shouldn't dispute the score that I gave you.
Dispute?
Yeah.
But you didn't. Right?
I was just saying, I just think we should do better than this. Somehow they took it as me disputing the
maybe
review.
They thought that you are telling her that it should be better than this.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So it really got bad, man. And then they're saying we have been 20 years in the F&B blogging business. We take our scores, and then all these personal attacks started coming. So they label us as same level as Williams or Mooney and all that. This kind of steakhouses. I mean, these kind of joints. Yeah.
But it's a misunderstanding basically.
Exactly, it's a misunderstanding. Then I really felt like if you want to fight, let's go all the way.
And then.
Yeah, so I started shooting back. I said all these aunties. Oh, these aunties don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, and I had to learn. I had to learn also how to navigate.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
In this, at that time, I think food bloggers were them. I think powerful-ish.
Yes.
But then again, I started to realize, most of the time, people make up their minds themselves. I'm actually quite surprised by that also. Yeah, we were leaving that point in social media where people people were starting to say like, you know, a lot of these reviews are actually, you know, I'm not
It's your
sure whether it's
opinion lah.
paid or not. I can't tell the difference
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah. And actually taste is very diverse. You know?
It's subjective, bro.
One man's meat is another person's
Like
poison.
like the auntie like black pepper stick like, you know, like, because you see, right, like in that case also, it's like, it's not like you blame her that her husband don't like, or her husband is like a specific kind of steak.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't serve that here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can't
Yeah.
expect me to cater to your how many years of relationship with your husband and understand how to cook for him right away. Huh?
Yeah, actually, you know, the more I grew quite fast learning how to deal with that also, because I remember that quote saying that, you know, people are normally rude only because they are not getting what they want.
Yeah.
And I can see where the uncle is coming from. I mean, if you ate a steak from, let's say, the ship or, you know, all these places for 50 years, right? Is that piece of steak with like a thick black pepper sauce and all that, and probably never saw blood or anything. That's steak to you. And when you see a young guy coming out and then I'm saying like, yo, you should definitely have it medium rare, and I want blood all over the plate, and I don't serve any sauce.
But
right?
I think it's the whole thing about the perception of a new guy.
Exactly.
Right? Which you got to walk through the years.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I
Especially
think
when
so.
you're in a industry that's very subjective.
Exactly.
Like the product is subjective based. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone gets when you're green. Even us now, when we look at new people, it's like, hey, you sure you know what you're doing? And then we got to
Every
slap
day, that's
ourselves
me
and
every
like,
day.
hey, bitch, we kena that before, you know. So like, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
But then like these people, like you said, right, like taste is subjective. I think that's why Karens are the people who forget that it is subjective. Like, you like something doesn't mean the whole world needs to agree. And I think I like the point that you brought up, man. Dude, it's opinion against opinion. And really,
exactly.
the danger of freaking social media is like, what? Oh, your opinion matters more. Like, you know?
Exactly,
No,
exactly.
unless... I mean, the rule is unless it's really threatening someone's life. Let's say someone found a freaking razor blade in the steak. Something. Okay, then we admit okay, that one...
Okay, he has
Send the hellfire, you know, like whatever. right?
Correct. Not just like one time, like 4 times, you know.
Four
you
times,
find
4 different blades, 4
reasons.
isolated cases. And then you're like, you could have put the blade in there for all I know.
Yeah.
Maybe some people also sabo at that, you know. But I think like tackling Karens, man, to a certain point, you're the rare one that will throw people out of the shop. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think that's how Karens need to be dealt with. I'm sorry, I say all the hard facts because honestly, guys, there's this saying, right? If you really want to learn how to be a good person, go and work F&B.
Yes.
Oh, that's quite true.
Right?
That's
Because
quite
you
true.
understand how much shit people throw at,
Yes.
at waiters and service
It
based.
changes you,
it
really
changes you.
changes you.
Changes
You will see that humans are given a status above you, right?
Yeah.
They will, like, no matter how good you think someone can be, right? You give them the liberty above you.
Yeah.
Oi, I tell you.
Actually, it is quite a good test of character. I've hired a few managers, right, and I always try to hire people who are in general happy-go-lucky. So in general, they have a very optimistic view on other human beings, and then I can slowly watch within 6 months, right, whether they
disappears.
Yeah, whether they make it or not, whether that optimism stays or it chips away slowly. I remember there's
Wow,
one.
that's so profound, dude. That's
there's
crazy.
One young guy, he was like always happy-go-lucky, damn good-looking, always got girls flirting with him. At the end of his, I think after he worked for 6 months for me, oh my god, I had to tell him like, you know, bro, maybe you shouldn't talk to the customers anymore, because I was getting complaints from customer like, your manager is like shouting at us and he's like telling us,
shit.
yeah, there's no smiles from him anymore. I'm like, okay, but it
It eats away.
it
at
eats
you,
away
dude.
slowly. Yeah.
I think I feel like when it comes to you become a product also of like the restaurant. Like for me, like if I'm a waiter, if I'm being polite and everything, right, I'm still a human, but to customers they see me as, oh, it is just a product,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
true.
but that's difficult because I go to restaurants and I see really impolite and rude waiters and kitchen staff and floor staff, and I'm like, guys, I know you're tired, but you can't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's also a line because I won't go and tell them, hey, you stupid toot, you know,
Yeah.
come and you should be giving me this, because I've been there. But I also know that I cannot be. I still need to do my best, lah. You know.
Actually, I think you guys definitely know and understand that kind of feeling, because you guys are probably public figures. I would consider public figures.
We have a certain degree of social responsibility in what we post.
Yeah.
Yes.
You feel like constantly strangers come up to you and say, oh, bro, I know you. Like, what do you think about this? And like,
Right.
you have to layan.
Bro,
Right?
I
That's the front of house. Yeah.
I was in Burger Lab that day in Subang, in Sunway, right? And I was having lunch with Joseph and Graham, and then I met like these two students were passing by. Then the guy walked away. Then he came back. He pointed at me. Hey, I know you. You're the fella. Then I was like, yes, I'm Dan Cool. Then he's like, you're not Dan Cool. Then I said, I don't know. Then he said, I watched your stuff. Thanks. It's very funny. I said, thanks, bro. Then I said, what do you study? He said, I'm studying actual science. I said, I look at you. You feel like a scientist. I said, that's not what actual science is. Then I said, sorry, bro. You just go back to class now.
It's not easy, man. Like, I think a lot of people think that it's nice to be a celebrity and all that, right? But can you imagine, constantly people come up to you, hey bro, I know you from that YouTube show. Hey, you should do that, huh? You should do this.
Oh my gosh. Is that what they do?
Yeah, you should change your hair. Yeah. It's like same thing for a restaurant manager. They come in and they say, hey bro, you should change your table, or you should hire this, and you should cook this, and you should.
You ever tempted to say one day, hey, you're so easy, you try, let me know how it goes, Like really one, right? Like everyone's the boss or something, right?
But that's just part of our job.
It is part of
It's
muscle.
true.
You have to just bite
It's
the
not just the
bullet,
food,
man.
it's the people as well.
It's the people.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's the people.
Even more nowadays, right? It's not enough to just be a product maker.
Oh,
You need to
definitely.
make like
You gotta be
everything
the- you
around
gotta be
it.
the personality
You got to
behind it as
sell
well,
it.
man.
You got to market it. You got to
Shucks,
talk
man.
online about it. And it's just like at one point, like, just let me cook my steak, lah, please.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't like to
exactly.
eat, just don't eat, lah. I can't ask anything already. You
Yeah.
want to order, you order, lah. The questions begin like no one asks you to order, no one forced you to order. Why are you giving us such a hard time?
Why are you being a monkey,
Up to a degree, I do admit that, okay, if a dish comes out bad, there's no problem admitting like, I'm so sorry, there was a mistake.
Yeah.
It's the people that push the tape and like just go like, let me teach you how to,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, guys, everyone makes mistakes, and these Karens will be...
Jeremy, do you have a Karen story when you were working
Wait,
at
yeah,
Facebook?
Jeremy, what's your Karen story?
I only had a very weird request. It wasn't a Karen story.
You kiss me.
But no. But
Sorry?
I think I don't know the whole specifics, but because fishbowl is like it serves like raw salmon.
Yeah.
And back then, now they have cooked stuff, but I know last time when we
It was
first
just
started,
raw stuff,
Yeah, raw
yeah.
stuff. No, the only thing that was cooked was chicken.
Yeah.
Which is so this customer came in and I was
No way. I know what's coming out already.
she was like,
Are you serious?
hi. Then we served her the food. She ordered, she take the paper, fill up everything, pass us the form, then we started doing the food.
Yeah.
At the counter, she's like, is this cooked? And then I was like, we're like, oh no, this is raw. And then she was like, can it be cooked?
That's
and
a
then
good one.
I looked at like,
That's a
and
good
then
one.
we were like, huh, this is like obvious, like
how?
like there's no way. It's all raw.
Yeah.
And then I remember I went, some of my colleague went in the kitchen and she asked, Boleh like ask the chef, because we have a chef in the kitchen who cuts the fish, right? Can cook? Cannot cook.
yeah.
So we remember and she's like, but I cannot eat raw food.
And get up.
And then I was like, you are at a shop that sells raw fish. And
It's like you go to KFC and be like, I'm not really a chicken person.
yeah.
It's like,
I
what are you
don't
doing
know
here, man?
What was the like? I know the manager spoke to her, so I don't know what happened afterwards. But we offered like, do you want chicken instead? Because we only serve raw food. So that's
That was special, dude.
That was a memorable story that I've experienced.
For me, so I told a story on Amen like a
My
year ago
gosh.
about a customer whose friends ordered for her because she wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And then when I brought out the food, then the customer who finally came told me this is not what she ordered. I looked at her, yeah, you didn't order, your friend did. Then she kept quiet. So, but this story is one. So I worked at Pasar Zamai, Sushi Zamai. I also worked at Whoop Whoop with Liang and Poju
Liang, yeah.
when they were in Sunway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Subang.
Nice space.
So I was there for a bit because I was actually doing my internship there. I ended up dueling also like floor staff, like on the ground and helping when there's a lot of people. There was this particular person, and I'm not saying this because there's already like a perception and stereotype about this group of people, but I have to because she was lah. So this lady was a vegan and she came in.
Oh
okay?
dear.
Oh.
And like she was going through the menu and she said, I told her like, you can take your time. You just let me know when you're ready to order. So I went and started like, wiping up some tables, pouring some water, filling up the jugs. So she called me back to her and I was there with her. She was like, is this is this gluten free? Is this dairy free and all that? I was like, I said, I don't think so. Because, you know, like if it was, we would have told you, you know, or it would have like the V sign there, right? So she's like, why is it not? So then I was like, and this is me not as a young kid anymore. This is like, we've been making videos,
older.
we have a company. I'm 23, 24 at this point.
Wow.
No lah, not that young lah.
25.
What time more?
Not that old, not that long ago, bro. I was
Yeah,
already
it's
like,
really not that long ago.
I'm 25 years old. So I'm 25 years old, 24 years old, and then she's like telling me, why is it not vegan? Or why is it not gluten free? Why is it not dairy free? So I looked at her and I said, that's a great question.
That's a great question.
Why didn't you look it up before you write me?
I said to her like, I told her like, would you like me to check if there is an option for it?
Okay.
She was like, no, I don't need you to check. If it's not here, if it is, it will be on the menu. I said, that's also a good point.
Yeah.
So I was standing there looking at her, and then she was going through. She was like, oh, is this one, what kind of bread, what kind of dough do you all use? Like, what? And I was like, wow, this is mad. I was like, give me a second. Let me go and find out what we have that's vegan. So you don't need to do that. I don't know if I'm going to dine here. And I was like, so I look at her, she look at me. I look at her, she look at me. I was like, would you like a coffee?
I like to throw in,
Do
like,
it.
you know, you're not supposed to say it, right?
Yeah.
But I like to throw in looks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No, I smiled a lot,
Like-
and I think that killed her.
right.
I was killing her with like the kindness.
I would
kindness
smile the
one.
mouth, but my eyes would
Like,
say, you're mad.
Are you mad?
Yeah, like,
Dude, she legit asked, right, for me to go into the kitchen to ask Liang to make mashed potatoes without the usual ingredients. I'm like, I don't think he makes mash like just for you. He makes, there's a tub.
Yeah.
There's a tub and we scoop. Like, you think about it,
can you
right?
do mashed potatoes, but not the potatoes?
Yeah, like,
I just want potato-free mash.
Bro,
Yeah, and I think like this shouldn't be an argument against vegans.
It's
Like, there's
not.
a lot of people
It's
that
not.
Wait,
I
if
have
you've
it's
got
not.
vegan
yeah,
friends
no,
who
no
are,
but I
problem
feel
with
that
vegans.
if you
Yeah.
want to,
the
you shouldn't force your opinion
no.
on
The
somebody.
problem is like, unfortunately, a lot of these groups are associated with damn entitled people.
Yeah.
And then everyone takes offense because
true,
you're
yeah.
thinking of shooting. But no, in the F&B industry, right, the most entitled people are the people who think that they have their restrictions on food needs to be applied to everyone.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
like-
whack lah.
And then there's a bunch of people like who understand that these restrictions are for myself
Correct.
only, so I will order
So I
accordingly.
I mean, the restaurant doesn't need to accommodate me.
No.
I chose to go there, ma,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I never felt the urge when my friends or my family who are religious, we go to a vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah.
I never found myself sitting
How
there. and
dare
ask,
you not serve
Hey,
me?"
where's my beef? Where's my steak? How come your restaurant don't at least serve one steak dish?
Yeah,
Like,
I never
I never
feel
found
that.
the urge to do that lah. I don't know lah, but
You know what's my
Oh,
sense?
how come the other way goes?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
the other
crazy.
way it doesn't work both
Like,
ways one.
when my vegan or vegetarian friends are like, oh, let's go to this restaurant and eat there, and then, like, obviously it's a vegetarian restaurant, right? My solution, right, to manage expectations is I just don't go. Right? That's how I do it.
I know we laugh a lot and some people get triggered, but I mean, hey, this is conversation, guys. This is opinions, this is comments.
Yeah.
We do have friends who are vegan, vegetarian, and like our teammate Alyssa as well. The good thing about just doing life with Alyssa for so many years was that she's also the type that if we are going somewhere, simple conversation, hey Ellie, do you have anything you want to eat here? Or not. It's always a two-way street.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some days she will be like, it's okay, let's just go. I'll order whatever I can on
Yeah,
the
she
menu.
will order like the fries or like
Yeah.
something that's not like
And
meat.
some
like.
days it's just like, okay, Ellie, let's go somewhere that's something good for you. You know?
Yeah.
But the
I mean,
entitlement
we always poke at her lah,
and
but it's
the,
true.
you know, and the triggers come, right? Like, wow, you're making fun of it. No. I
Yeah.
do not make fun of stuff. I respect your food choices that
Yeah.
have to do with your health, and
Yeah.
good for you making a stand to like animal cruelty, so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yep.
But to you who thinks that you are more entitled over someone else in terms of your choice
yourself,
of
man.
lifestyle,
Check yourself.
check your damn self,
Yeah.
man.
Check yourself.
That's,
Like-
that's the Karen thing.
Right,
yeah.
the Karens, I mean, doesn't have to be specifically vegan, guys. We're not shooting
Yeah,
anybody.
we're not, we're not.
All right?
Nothing to do with the vegans.
Yeah, Karens are people who decide that their say matters more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's damn crazy, especially when no one forces you to choose
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
No one forces you to step into this establishment. And then you come in and force everyone to
Dude,
abide.
my favorite. So I've got a story about vegans, and this is amazing. All right. So I've got a couple of friends. So 2 or 3 of them are vegans, / vegetarians. I know they're not the same, but there was a group of them. We went out for a birthday party at a steakhouse. Okay, so someone's birthday was at a freaking steakhouse,
Birthday.
right? Outback Steakhouse in freaking Bangsa. I love Bangsa.
Ooh, I love Bangsa.
Okay. So we're all there, right? And one of them decided that she wanted to go off that this restaurant didn't have like stuff that fit her dietary requirements. And she was like, how can you do this? I demand for this, I demand. Then the waiter was a non-Malaysian. He was a foreigner. And his English wasn't very good. And he couldn't really fight with her as well because he's like, I don't really know what the ingredients are, right? My favorite part about this whole conversation was her friend, who is also a vegan/vegetarian, said to her, hey, can you don't be like this? Just don't order that lah. Like if they don't have, don't order lah. Just get that one lah. And I was like, you see, it's not the vegan vegetarian. It's the person.
It's the person itself,
right? I think that's where we want to land at the end of the day, right? So if you have ever worked in the F&B service industry, right, it's great that you've had a taste of it. So I feel if anything else, you should also be a nice person to the people.
Yeah.
But if you've not been in the F&B and service industry, I'm not saying that you should actually, but I'm not saying you need to.
I don't
but
wish it
think
to
of
my
it
enemies.
as think of it as this, like the simple baseline truth. How you want to be treated as a person, you should treat other people. Like that's it, man.
Yeah, it's actually as simple as that.
Right? Because you could be a lawyer, you could be a bank manager, right? And imagine on like a normal day, you go in, having coffee, and a client comes in, a customer comes in, who's gonna be, your paying customer, and they start shouting at you. They tell you, you don't run this joint lah. You're legal. You buy your license lah. They start shitting on your profession, your job, and then you're like, whoa, where is this coming from? Right? It's the same thing.
I mean, a great litmus test is if you got triggered by anything in this podcast, I would encourage you to sign up for a part-time in an F&B service place and understand first.
Actually, we do need a workforce now. Actually, man. That's a serious one. If you would ever want to have some
experience, grew up by Ahong was working part-timers.
No, I mean in general, the F&Bs, yeah.
Oh,
I think a lot of the workforce in F&B has now gone and do something else. Like a lot of them, I don't know. I think mostly go become delivery platform riders.
Right.
It's been taken up. Yeah,
a lot of shifting out of
a lot of shifting out, man. Yeah,
I think we always look at like these F&B people in the industry. They are so like, and their face looks very angry, or they look like very distraught. And I think this goes for anything in the service industry. You go to a shop and you see someone who's serving you, who's like, they look like they want to kill you. But then maybe if you, that's why every time when I go and see these people and they're so angry, I take a step back and I think, this person probably had a really shit day.
Yeah,
already.
dude.
Yeah.
But
that's why my default. Yeah.
So that's why they're so like that. That's why they're treating that way. So I don't know. My always go to is when I see someone there, I'll just say, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Same. Exact same.
It's really true.
It's not hard.
It's really true when they say like you will know if someone has worked in the service line before.
You just see how they treat like
service people.
Stuff,
Really one I mean, guys, parents, if you guys are listening, you're gonna have some kids. Send them to go and intern like part-time or not intern, like part-time into like, fast food chain or restaurant. It will build your character so differently, seriously.
Yeah, it will definitely.
And to everyone, again, we are not saying that, we're not trying to bash any beliefs in food, okay? You are entitled to your own beliefs in food, 100%, but you're not entitled to making someone else respect your beliefs. Just saying, okay? Please, we need to encourage a healthy conversation again these days, not some kind of fragile mindset that can't take a bit of critique here and there. I mean, come on, you got Hong, who literally has steak as a legacy, and people coming up to tell him how to cook steak.
But here's a tip for everyone out there.
You
right?
got tips. Let's go. Hong's tips.
A lot of times, right, I get a customer who complains. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Either they are being picky, or either it's our own mistake.
Yeah.
So, but if they start off the complaint properly and speak in a nice manner, often that relationship goes beyond a complainant and a restaurant.
You become nice.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of times I make friends with people who start a conversation with us. And then, so the tip for you is if you do that and if you start a conversation with the restaurant and then you get to the owners and everything, you're more likely to get special treatments your next visit.
Guys,
confirm one. They appreciate it. They appreciate
People want to know what to do better.
Here's a behavior hack for all of you guys. You guys want to complain about something? Think about two things, right? Let's say number one, the water you ordered was you ordered ice and it came hot, right? think of how you can approach the situation. Number one, if you want to make the waiter happy, would you say A, why the water not cold? You think that's gonna make him a happy waiter? Or B, hey, so sorry, I'm so sorry for disturbing. I ordered a cold, but it's a hot, but it's alright, I can just take the hot. Like, he will want to help you. That's just the hack.
Exactly.
Just do that.
We need to stop believing that I'm paying for this service, you should serve me.
Exactly.
Like there's
Man,
still
you
a
have to be
human
honest,
being.
how much you're paying lah.
Yeah,
You tell me you want to go mama and you want to tell the waiter, hey, you give me raw teh ice, I ask teh ice, you give me
But
coffee
that's
ice.
a very big mindset, and that's what I think is a very big governing thing for a lot of these people who we see, get viral on Facebook or like TikTok, right? It's all the Karens that believe that they are entitled to act this way,
Yeah.
So please don't be a Karen. Karen's going to be the least popular name next year. Like, for
It really
babies.
is for the next few years, right? Oh man, but
Throwing a question to Hong before we wrap up.
Oh,
Do you have any advice? Because I know there's still people who are starting F&B businesses.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
one
Actually.
golden advice you would give to anyone like starting a business.
Whoa. I think my advice would be specific to what I've learned myself.
of course.
And that is to adapt quickly and always welcome mistakes, because that's how I like I said, I never set out to be a steakhouse, never set up Grab to be like this. And the reason why we made it is not because I'm a smart guy or I did all the right things at the beginning or I had a lot of help. We had nothing, and the only reason why I survived is because I learned from Renyi, right? As soon as you find something that doesn't work,
Bye.
get
it out.
try and solve it.
Yeah.
Always be a problem solver. So you just quickly make changes. Never stay in the same place. Just improve little by little every single day, and just don't give up. Just don't give up, and you reach the sweet spot one.
guys, that's not just advice for the F&B industry. That's advice for life.
Life.
Your damn life.
Just saying, doesn't really apply to relationships. If you commit to someone, you fix it. Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Not like it's like,
Business,
guys,
business.
I gotta change this product, guys. It's not working out. Me and you.
Change girlfriend.
Change girlfriend.
It's true.
But that's golden, man. That's golden. You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
gotta
Got
adapt.
to.
Yeah, especially in this market nowadays, right? The trends and everything change so fast, right? Yeah, so you really have to try and keep up.
Yeah, one day is Dalgona, one day is Algona, one day is Squid
and-
Game.
Go now.
Calgona.
Okay, I don't know
Okay,
about that
this guy. Okay,
I
me.
hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. It's really an insightful one. I love that we got Hong here today just to pick apart and learn a little bit more about what goes behind the kitchen. And really, I
exactly.
guess just how it's not that easy.
Yeah,
right? If you
exactly.
guys want to maybe experience it for yourself.
Oh, yes.
Go,
And your
go.
party at homes, guys.
Yeah. No, but for real, you guys need to go and check out. If you've not already, please go and visit
thanks.
Grub by Ahong. It's an amazing place, and he's not paying us to do this. All right. If anything, like I would pay again to eat at this place. It's a great place, guys. But also, what's great about today is the song of the week. This one's by Yao, a brand new one from our Singaporean friend Yao. I've actually not made friends with him yet. I would like to. This one's called Woo, W-U-W, and sounds like this. Wow. I'd pay for this. I'd pay for this anytime.
I wouldn't tell him to make his music the way I want
How
to make
do
his
you
music.
tell John Mayer to fix his songwriting? Shut up, man. Let people do their stuff.
I won't go to
man.
Yao and say,
This one I think could add a bit more snare.
I'm like, why it doesn't sound like Elvis Presley? I want Elvis
Actually,
Presley.
a really good analogy, right?
right?
Like you wouldn't
You
go
wouldn't go to-
into an artist and tell them your music sucks.
Yeah.
I would use C major.
For my husband, you need to make sure that your song is in this key.
Yeah,
And
and
he's still
also
not
it
paying
makes
enough.
sense because like everybody has different types of genres of
Yeah.
music. So you like
Exactly.
you use the same analogy
so
of
good,
wood
so
into
good.
music. Like
No,
perfect.
you
Don't
wouldn't
use
tell people-
musicians. You always use doctors. I wouldn't go to a doctor and say,
Oh,
my
okay
husband
lah,
maybe
yeah.
give a bit more vitamin C.
Oh shit.
You know?
Hey,
Oh,
but got people like that. Though.
Okay, that was a bit, but music, you won't go and tell people your interest in jazz music sucks.
It's wrong, yeah.
It's wrong.
Exactly.
doctor. I know everyone like to take this medicine, but I know I need this other medicine.
Oh, that's-
No.
I
Trust
hope
me,
you
trust
guys are
me.
not like that. If anything, let us know what you guys took away from this episode of the Takeaway Table Talk podcast. Jeremy grills me for that one. Thanks so much for being here with us, Hong.
Hey, cheers, guys.
We
Thanks.
will see you for sure in the near future. If you guys want to get caught up with all the latest podcast episodes, We're available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Join us on our Discord channel at discord.gg/thetakaawaytable for some end-year shenanigans. We've got some stuff lined up for you guys, and January is going to be a brand new season of crazies. We can't wait to share that one with you. Tag us in your Instagram stories, share this one, and give us a like wherever you're listening to this so we can repost you. Sending you our love till the next episode. Kisses, hugs, and butterfly butt squeezes.
Oof.
That was crazy. That was crazy. All right, see you guys. Bye.
Squeeze.